January 1st, and you know what that means. So January 1st means this is the beginning of our no spend and our pantry challenge. So let me get these eggs inside and we'll talk about what that means. So whether you're a subscriber, new to homesteading, or just curious for what this challenge is all about, we're going to talk about that, explain the parts, explain why we do it, and what's involved. So this challenge can be broken down into two pieces. You have your official January Pantry Challenge, and you have your January No Spend Challenge. Some people do one, the other, or both. We usually do both. And we've done this challenge for up to 3 months, and it's kind of a lot of fun. It lets you kind of see where you stand if you're getting into that prepping mentality, and it lets you find where you're doing really well, where there may be gaps, and what you may need to reconsider in what you've got stored. So I'm going to start talking about the January No Spend Challenge. Now this is a challenge that you can do at any time of year. You can do it for a month, you can do it for a week. You can figure out what works best for you. Depends on you, your family situation, and everything else in regards to that. So the No Spend Challenge, first off, does not include not paying your regular bills like your mortgage, your utility bills, car payments, that kind of thing. Of course, you still need to do that. The No Spend Challenge is in regards to any extra spending. And that means stopping for a cup of coffee on the way to work, picking up something while you're at the game with the kids, getting something from the concession stand. It's making that quick trip just to get, or a habit of stopping out for lunch. So the no spend is to help people with saving up some money for that month, and you'd be surprised how much money you can save. And January works out really well for most people because it's right after the holidays when you may have spent a little more than you planned. It's also for many people the time of year when their bills are higher. So your electric bill or oil bill are going to be higher when the weather's colder. So it helps you, if you can save a little extra money up, to make sure you have those bills paid off. And it's surprising, like I said, how much money you can save. Now we do the no spend and the pantry challenge together because for us, the two go hand in hand. Now the pantry challenge. For us, the pantry challenge gives us a chance to go through what we have on our shelves, what we have in the different areas of our pantry, and we'll talk about that throughout the month, what the different portions of your pantry are. And it lets us kind of plan ahead. We get to see maybe what we have a lot of on the shelf that needs to get used up, what we bought and planned to use and didn't. It also makes sure that we don't have anything that needs to be disposed of, that we don't have any jars that didn't seal properly that are sitting on the shelf, so we can have a realistic idea of what we have in storage. Now, another good reason for the pantry challenge is it lets us plan ahead. If you grow your own vegetables or fruits, you have a garden, and you like to preserve your harvest, this lets you see what you've harvested in the past year's harvest, what you preserved, how much do you have, how much have you used, what maybe you need to plant more or less of in your coming season. And it lets you start getting that garden planning going. When you really can't get outside and plant in January, you can be planning ahead for what you may need to buy for seeds, what you may want to change in the way your garden is set up, or what you may need to add that you want to grow yourself, whether it's herbs or vegetables, or even flowers that may be medicinal that you can grow in your garden. So let's get a little deeper into what this means and how it works for us. So for us, one of the first things that we're going to do is we're going to go through any refrigerators, freezers, that kind of thing first to see what we have that needs to be used up. It's January for us. If we get a big snowstorm and lose power, what might we need to worry about going bad that we have in the fridge or freezer? It also means for me, anything that I put in our big freezer, I need to decide those things that I had harvested but never got around to canning or preserving. What do I need to catch up on? And this is a great month for me to do that. I can't get outside and do a lot of work in the garden or around the yard, so I'm going to spend that time catching up on getting things preserved. The next step for me is going to be checking any of our kitchen cabinets, any of our storage shelves, my pantry shelves, to see what do I have for dried goods, canned goods, whether they're store-bought or homemade, and check and see what can I start planning ahead for meals. So these are going to be the meals that I can make that I don't have to go to the store to buy something with. This also gives you a chance to get a little more creative in the kitchen. So you might say, well, the ingredients that I have, I can't make what I would normally make with this. So what else can I come up with that I can use the ingredients for that's going to be delicious, healthy, and it's going to get us through this challenge without having to go to the grocery store? The next piece of this is for me going into our long-term storage. If I'm finding gaps in my pantry, I need to check my long-term storage to see what needs to be rotated, because you want to make sure you're rotating your long-term storage as well, so things don't just sit on a shelf and go bad and have to be thrown away. And what might I be able to take out of that long-term storage to incorporate in with what I have in my pantry to create those meals or desserts for my family. So this is a great time, again, like I said, to be creative, think out of the box. Maybe look up some new recipes, talk to friends, or post on one of the challenge pages. Hey, this is what I have. Anybody have an idea on what I can use this for? We'd love to see those kinds of posts and comments on our videos so that we can talk about it. Our community can learn new things and we can share and help everybody feel more prepared and less stressed if they ever run into a situation where their pantry is what they have to rely on. Now, something we do that may be different than other people who do the pantry challenge is we look at this challenge as something other than just food. We're looking at this for all the different parts of items that we have stored and put on the shelves or in the closets or in the cabinets that we use on a daily basis. And for us, this means everything from toothbrushes, toothpaste, shampoo, soap. It means clothes. It's a great time to be going through your clothes, especially if you got new things for Christmas, figuring out what's worn out, what can be put aside, what maybe can get donated, what you need to think about purchasing later if there are items that you are short on. It also gives us a chance to look at things that we have for any other areas of our life. Let's say a light bulb goes out. Do we have spares on the shelf? How much toilet paper, paper towels, dish detergent, washing soap, all that kind of thing that you use on a daily basis. And this kind of helps you to understand how fast you go through things, how much you may need to put on the shelf to have for storage, and how much you don't use of what you bought that maybe you've kind of overstocked on, especially if it's anything that might expire. It's important to know what medications you have on the shelf. In the winter, people get sick. Do you have the things you need to be prepared in case somebody gets a cold? It can be something simple, or it can be something like you have medications you take every day. Do you have a supply on hand in case there's a storm and you can't get out to the pharmacy to pick up more? And that's something to talk to your doctor about, but it's also something that's very important for you to keep in mind. And don't forget, if you have pets, make sure you have enough supplies for them as well. Now, for us, this challenge time is also a great time for us to check and make sure all our tools or equipment are working well. Now, sometimes you put something on the shelf, you forget it's there, and you don't think about it. We have a hand pump. That hand pump is for emergencies. It's for our water pump. And it's not something that we use every day, but it is something that periodically we have to check, make sure everything's functioning. We have to prime it, make sure that it stays in good working order. So this is a great time for us to go through, check things like that, and make sure that everything's working properly. Make notes of anything that may need new batteries, like your smoke alarms. Do you have a notation on when those get taken care of? Checking to make sure anything that you may need to rely on in an emergency is going to be functioning. This is a great time to incorporate that into your processes as well. So that kind of explains what these challenges are, how we look at them, and what we do. Now, if you decide that you want to take part in doing this challenge, you don't have to start on day one. If you see this video and it's the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, go ahead, jump right in, join us. Let us know in the comments that you're joining along and you're going to give this a shot. Or if you're an expert at this and you're doing it every year, let us know you take part, what you like and what you don't like about the challenge. Now, we are going to continue through this month to do videos relating to this challenge, different things that we're making, different things that we're doing, how it is impacting our daily life. And we'd love to hear from you again, like I said in the comments. If you're doing this, how is it impacting you? If you're not doing it but have questions, make sure you leave those in the comments as well, because we'd love to be able to give you answers to the things that you want to know about. So stay tuned. We're going to be doing a lot of videos. We're going to do some full-length videos. I'm going to do some shorts that pertain to both of these challenges. And we can't wait to talk to you next time. We'll see you soon. Take care.